Benjamin Akyena Brantuo of the NDC's communication team. Now, I guess what many people want to know is why have we dropped? The Deputy Information Minister, Okujetua Blakwa, has raised some issues. He thinks that government has put in place some things and he's a bit disappointed that they didn't reflect. But I guess the big question is that why do Ghanaians still have the perception that we either have retrogressed in our fight against corruption or that corruption in the public sector is on the increase?
Yeah, Randy, thank you very much. Just before then, quickly, it is not true that under this government, sole sourcing is on the increase. The NPP have been pushing this propaganda far too long. I don't also know why the Public Procurement Authority have not been very forceful in clearing these lies. The last time it was inflation on building 6 classroom blocks, which went as far as being told in Parliament by the minority leader. It came out that everything was a lie, including how much they said, is it MTN had put up some school blocks for certain people. That's against the prices government was putting up. Everything they were saying was untrue. I would just plead with all Ghanaians. Let us stop some of this politicization because it does not in any way help our cause. Somebody also made an allegation, I think one of your texters, and I think he's inspired by some commentary by AFAG, that the NDC is putting up a $20 million headquarters. For Christ's sake, I am pleading with the executive of the party to put up the full facts of the NDC headquarters.
What are the facts, if you can tell us?
Well, I won't go into it because I want to have time to deal with what she did. I'm just saying is that
I'll give you the time.
The NDC,
if you want to deal with it.
No, you see, what we tried
No, because you raised it.
Yeah, because your texter raised it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if you decide to debunk it, then I'll give you the opportunity.
What I am saying is that the statement, the comment by the texter is inspired by a statement by AFAG.
Okay.
And we know where AFAG comes from. With all intents and purposes, it's a propaganda arm of the NPP. Okay. What I am saying here is that the NDC government in the coming days will put the full facts of the said headquarters. It has never been a crime for institutions as big as NDC with membership exceeding 4 million to have a secretariat. If you go to ICGC, Kodesh, and many of these churches whose membership are in thousands and hundreds, they are having multi-million-dollar edifice. NPP has a headquarters, they have a clubhouse, individuals could buy Jaguar and so on to celebrate their birthdays. Kufuor-San could buy a hotel. What can't individuals do? Do you know the caliber of people who are made up in the NDC? We were in party for 19 good years. Even with 8 years experiment, we know what you were able to do. So sometimes, let us put some of this cheap. We expect the NPP to lead a campaign of decency. This morning, I heard Mr. Boachi Jakun, NPP Director of Campaign, very angry that a certain paper have put on this front page that Nanado urinated on a mosque.
Actually did that.
Fine. He was insulting. He went berserk. It is foolish men. Those who wrote it were mad. Do we describe AFAG members in the same derogatory terms? It will not help us. It will not help us.
What's the crime of AFAG? They say you're building a $20 million.
They did not provide the basis, one.
Yes.
They did not provide any shred of basis for what they have said.
Okay.
Particularly my concern is that when your flag bearer have been told that he has urinated on a mosque in the north, which is a sacrilege, you come out and you insult them in vulgar language. What you wouldn't take?
When you put out a deliberate lie.
Well, you may want to find out because we are told there are witnesses all over who know about this.
God.
But let me go on. The issue of corruption is a systemic issue. It is one that can be addressed not with rhetorics, but direct policies that are geared to killing it in the bud. When the NDC government came, we realized that one of the major issues of which, as it were, causes corruption is the issue of low wages and disparities in salaries. So we took the bold initiative to make sure that at least the single spine salary structure was implemented. As we speak currently, we are at 98% migration of all public sector. We hope that with this, it would demoralize the policeman who used to get 200 Ghana cedis, who is now getting about 1,000 from desisting from some of this action. But again, it's attitude now. That is why there are other systems to also deal with it. We used to have the Serious Fraud Office. Under our tenure, we have, as it were, expanded its remit. It does not only now deal with public sector corruption, but it has also included private sector corruption and other crimes such as cyber fraud and many of these things. Their legislation and also mandate have equally been expanded. Now they have the capacity to take on issues without necessarily referring to the Attorney General's department. They have been retooled, they've been given equipment, their salaries have been boosted. This is direct evidence of dealing with corruption. You know something? When the NPP came, and they were talking about zero tolerance of corruption here and there, they decided to sacrifice this guy. You know, is it Malamisa? When they sacrificed Malamisa by jailing him because he wasn't really a member of their party, the perception about the government...
Akyena, is that what the court said? That Malamisa is going to jail because he's not MPP? Was that a ruling?
Randy?
Yeah.
The point I am building a certain...
No, but I won't let you... When you refer to AFAG and say that they made allegations without giving a basis and all that, you would also not make references.
Malamisa was alleged to have stolen monies belonging to the Ghana Football Association.
No, it's not true.
What was the basis of
the state, not Ghana Football Association?
Yes, but it was money. It was money that was supposed to be used for the national team, which was being manned.
Proven.
Madam, please, with the due respect.
Ben, go on.
The money belonged to the state,
yes,
but the purpose and the circumstance for which it was stolen was supposed to be used for works of the GFA and the national team. Is that not it? What we are saying is that Malam Issa still today deny his involvement. The court nonetheless pronounced him guilty. We also know that there have been court cases where under the direct influence of Kufuor, and I'm talking about the Chachuchi Kata case, when the bench was expanded and bloated for the review, they won. So it will not be completely out of place to say that some corruption sometimes do exist in the courts. And the Chief Justice and many other leading luminaries, more than myself, have been bold to talk to it. Atuguba and Larry Bini and many of those guys said there were corruptions. So if there have been corruption in the case of Malamisa, in any case, ruling have been given. It is my view to be able to criticize it. But the substance of my critique is this. When they took that single action within the early days of their government, it created a good image of the government preparedness to deal with corruption. So in that particular year, 2002, the perception index for the NPP went to 3.9.
From where?
Well, I don't know. But the facts I have here, as of the year 2002, came to 3.9. The substance of what I want to demonstrate is that immediately in the year 2003, it dipped. It dipped to 3.3.
Okay.
In the year 2004, it came up again, 3.6, not even matching up to the Malamisa tenure. Then in 2005, it dipped again. It came to 3.5. Significantly under the MDC government, because of our practical steps, legislation being put in place, and other practical initiatives of the government, we came to 4.1.
Okay.
Now, everybody in the NPP says that the NDC must be condemned, simply because we have come to 3.9, which, as we speak currently, remains the glowing example ever as far as the NPP's record of corruption perception indication stands.
Ben,